Hi, Yaron. It's very nice to have you here. It's a pleasure to have your film Reborn. I saw it yesterday, and it blows my mind because you see the world through the eyes of women. That was my feeling. Can you tell me how can you feel and see the world through the eyes of women?
Well, it's not exactly me. If I was a common filmmaker, then I would write a script. I would use my imagination to write down what these women should say and how they should react and what their main decisions should be. And I'm not a common filmmaker. I'm trying to use a filmmaking as a tool to try to observe and not to invent what is a woman. I'm trying to observe it. And so what I'm doing is that I'm inviting these women to join me in a journey where they where we build a character together. This character is based in a large extent on their original identity. And then while we are shooting, they are just experiencing the scenes like a reality, like something that is really happening, but it's not. So, for example, if you see in the movie like a bunch of women going to the north of Israel, to the mountainside, and they hang around for 2 days, crying, singing, and all that, it's a spontaneous experience. They were just living it. It wasn't scripted. And I was there to observe it. So what you see is like a combination between my personal sensitivity and the and what came out of their hearts on the spot when they were there, and it moved them. They identified with the moment, and this is what came out of them.
But that was the real story of the woman. I mean,
No,
about no.
no, this is a fiction film. It's not a documentary. But look, remember when you were a young girl in the kindergarten and you were playing family with your friends, and suddenly the father was behaving badly and you became upset, really upset, although you weren't the mother. You knew that you are not the mother, but you were living it. You were experiencing what it means to be a mother as a child. So what we are doing is quite similar, but as adults. So, for example, one of the main characters who is playing Abigail, and she's a nurse in a high, like a hospital for old
For elder
people.
people.
She's not in her real life. She's not a nurse, but she went to work as a nurse for a few weeks in order to know what it means to be there. And when we were filming there, she didn't have a script. She didn't know that something is about to happen, and she just went along with it, like a parallel universe. She was experiencing it, without a script, without orders, without directions. And so what you have is something in between reality and fiction. She knows she's protected by knowing that it's not her, that she's not really Abigail, but in the same time, it develops a real strong emotional identification with the character. So when she is crying, she's really, really crying. And when she is laughing, she's really laughing. It's not acting.
Yes, I felt like it was a balance act between reality and playing a film. And the whole time I was thinking about, do you have the permission to film in this nursery or I don't know hospital? You had a permission?
You need permission when you are shooting, even if you're shooting a documentary, you need permission to everything that you film.
Why you covered the faces of the people?
Yes. Well, the covering of faces and sometimes the body parts is due to the fact that these are not actors and this is not really fictional. Sometimes it's very real. The patients in the hospital are real patients. And so I cannot expose their identity. They are not extras like you see in a common fiction film. And this is very important for me to break the barrier between life itself and art. And I think that you can feel that something there is not performed. It's not fictional. It's not. It's on the in the. It's somewhere between it. You understand the fictional nature of the film enables me to go into the deep truth of life. But it's not a deep truth that I was scripting, that I was writing, or I was trying to achieve by a stylish camera. It's a truth that is there without me. I just need to let it come out spontaneously.
So I don't understand the explaining of why you're covering the bodies when they take the bras off, or
Because a real, a professional actress is supposed to feel very to feel comfortable exposing her body, and she is paid for that, and this is her career, and this is something that is written in the script. And when I'm shooting in a common filming method, I can film from the behind. I can break the frame not to see the private parts, and the character is just an idea. It's not a real person, so it's not a problem to see the private parts. But when you're dealing with a character which is half real, and when you are dealing with people who are not actors, they are not supposed to feel comfortable exposing themselves. And when everything is improvised and alive, you cannot really control how you shoot it. You need the freedom to shoot whatever comes up. Then the method that I had to use is like a documentary, because if it was a documentary, you would cover the faces and the private parts. So, and this is something that is sometimes confusing people because they know that there's a division between a fiction film and a documentary. And in a fiction film, you are supposed to see everything, and it confuses them. Some people feel that, wow, this is new. This is enables me to feel safer. This is something that builds more exposure and more intimate connection to authenticity. But some feel like, why? Well, I don't understand. So
it was really new for me too.
yeah,
So
I
it was
know, I
something
know.
totally different, and I thought it's maybe because you want to show the film in Israel, and they maybe not comfortable to see a naked body of a woman. Maybe I don't know. I just thought, okay, maybe this is a
No,
new way to show it in a festival.
the truth is that today we are seeing so much nudity and pornography everywhere that I think it's much bolder to not show it.
Mm. It's a very good idea. You mix something, but something else in the film. You mix something real into the film. In the very last part of the film, you put some, I guess it was a radio voice that tells about pedophile people, or handling with pedophile videos and photos in Israel. Why you put it in this film? Why was it so important to tell this in the film?
Well, the film is trying to dig deep into the most intimate relationships that we have in life. And this film in particular is trying to deal with the maternal nature of relationships. One of the main character is a very troubled woman, and well, it's a spoiler, so I don't know if I should talk about it. But the fact that in some corners, hidden corners, in reality, young children are being attacked or abused sexually is something that is very much that explain a lot about the trouble, the troubled soul of this character. So this is one mean to make the audience understand where she is coming from.
The audience will see it this this video after the film, so it's not a spoiler. We are not spoiling anything.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
they
So they
they will
know.
see it, and we are at the end of the film now.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
I'm trying to use cinema as a method of like a microscope, which is enabling us to watch, to observe things that are very hard to do in real life, in common life, in everyday life. And so my subject is life itself, not my imagination, not invented stories. I'm trying to observe the existence that exists without me, and I'm just observing it. So what goes on the radio is part of it. You know, what people are talking about in the radio and how it connects to the life of the character, which is, for me, it's this character is alive because it's based on women that I got to know personally. You understand? So this is another mean to break the barrier between the fictional nature of this work and the genuine, honest, documentary nature of this work.
Okay, so you took the film in, or part of the film, or the most, I guess, the most part of the film in one take, because
Yes,
there was really happening, like they're crying or dancing or whatever, and it's not acting.
yes, and it was all shot chronologically, like it was alive. You know, they went through Abigail and Yael, the midwife and the nurse.
Mhm.
When they met in the first time, they weren't close to one another. The actresses, I mean.
Yes.
But they went through the process. Abigail and Yael went through the process of becoming very, very good friends while we were shooting.
Oh, wow.
As it went on, and every scene that they come into, they are charged with everything that happened to them before. You understand?
Mm.
So, for example, I'll give you an example. The actress who plays Yael is my wife in real life.
Oh,
Okay?
yes.
She saw the film when it was more roughly edited. That was the first time she found out that her fictional sister is a stripper, is in the prostitution
Yes,
business.
yeah.
She didn't know anything about it because she knew only what Yael knows.
I understand.
So after she saw the film, she had to be in the bed for half an hour to cope with it because for her it was like a real shock personally.
It's a very new way to see through other eyes. Never had this experience to see a film and be confused all the time, uh, and between my imagination and what is fiction, what is real. Always was something between.
I think that if you watch the film again after this talk, I think that you will see so many things that would really surprise you, because you could see that when somebody is crying, it involves something truthful from their personal life. And it's not an actress who is performing something that was written. This is for me the greatest thing that I can achieve as a filmmaker, this honesty.
It's wonderful. So I'm happy that we show the film twice, so the audience can come again and see it again and understand after seeing the words you said, and to understand better. Are you making a new film now?
Well, right now Israel is really in deep in the Corona situation. We are heading for another siege, probably. So making a new film is not something that can happen in the next few months. And I also need to rest because I was working very hard and I'm still working. I'm teaching a lot. But I'm thinking about another project in Jerusalem, like a big mosaic of human stories living in Jerusalem and giving us something from their personal life.
How long did it take to make this film?
This film is part of a trilogy.
Yes.
And the other film, Chained, was in Hamburg a year ago. And these three films, we shot them in one production. And it
Oh,
went,
okay.
the shooting was a year-long shoot. So it took us 1 year to shoot, and it took me another 2 years to edit the three films. So I would say with the preparations and all that, it's like 7 years of work,
Wow.
this project. Yeah.
But the project is finished, or can we wait of the fourth?
No,
No.
no, it's three films. Basically, they tell the stories from different angles. They show this. Reborn is one angle, which is mostly concentrated around maternal feelings. But you have another movie which tells another story. If you remember, the woman who hugs Naama, the stripper, in the end,
Yeah.
she is the main character in the other film.
Wow. Okay.
And the husband of Abigail, Rashi,
Yeah.
is the main character in the other film. So they are all connected. It's like if you watch the three, you will see something that is much, much bigger, like a series.
Do you want to say something? Do you want to say something to the audience which saw the film now, and maybe to make them understand things or the film or the acting better, or you and your vision?
Well, I'm pretty sure that for some people in the audience, this was a bit too rough. Because we are used to go to the cinema in order to feel stronger, to feel optimist, to feel like we are in control and life is good, and to enjoy ourselves. And this is not about uh, enjoying ourselves. This is about dealing with something which is profound and the pain that it involves. And I think that the way to really enjoy life is to go through these experiences. And so I'm sorry that this was really troubling, but please believe me that it will help us, I hope, if we face, like the existential philosophers say, if we face the hell, only then we can experience paradise.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
For the
Thank
whole
you very
7
much.
years, for now, for the 10, 15 minutes we have with you.
I wish health and happiness and love to everyone.
Thank you so much. We too.